In this video, we're going to talk about how the internet has revolutionized campaigns. And for all of its faults and for all of its downsides, it has been as well an enormous force for good. In this video, I'm going to tell you why and how you can use it to promote a cause, to start a movement, and maybe even jumpstart a political career. To understand where this has brought us, a little bit of history of technology and politics and where they've intersected is instructive, because technology and politics is nothing new. I'm also going to tell you about the tools that are now available to you at your fingertips and how to use them in a positive way to advance a cause important to you and exactly how to do it. First, a little bit of history. There was a technology in the 1860 election that completely roiled that campaign. It was unlike any campaign that had happened before 1860. That was the year that Abraham Lincoln, the leader of a brand new party, became president of the United States. What was that technology? Newspapers. And people started receiving their news from newspapers. And the more who got their news that way, the more they liked it. And by the time the 1860 election rolled around, Abraham Lincoln had become an expert on how to exploit that technology with opinion columns and information that helped him advance his campaign for the presidency. In the Depression, back in the 20s and early 30s, there was a certain president that pioneered the use of radio, the first political figure to ever do it. Now, we were a country at that time on our knees. A quarter of our working class people had no job, and people lost their homes. We were in the midst of the worst depression ever to hit the United States. Roosevelt was elected to fix the problem. And he said, though, knew himself that I'm going to have to help bring people along and be a better communicator, because I'm going to have to do some dicey things to get us through this. So I'm going to talk to the American people every Sunday night. Well, by then, radio's become affordable to most people, and even in the Depression, a lot of families, even in rural America, had a radio. And it became one of those things where every Sunday night, in the entire country, families sat down together and listened to Roosevelt talk about the legislation he was going to bring forward, the legislation that had passed, the programs he was putting on the table that would help working class people. And in fact, it was the radio that Roosevelt used to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have made your banks safe. Your deposits are now insured. It is okay to go put the money that's under your mattress into a bank. And voila, the lines outside these banks were around the block the next morning. That was because Roosevelt had become adroit at using radio. In the 1960s, a man named John Kennedy pioneered the use of paid political advertising on television. Television, back in the 50s, it started as a black and white thing. It wasn't widely accepted, but by 1960, almost every American home had a television, and that was the way that Kennedy used to communicate with his marvelous speaking skills and the way he could lift people up and inspired them with his vision. More or less said, Kennedy brought TV of age in politics. During the Clinton years, two technological developments. The internet came of age and cable television came of age. Bill Clinton used both adroitly to win two successful campaigns for the presidency in the 1990s. In this century, two candidates have become pioneers in the use of social media. One was Barack Obama and Facebook, and the other was Donald Trump and Twitter. My point of all of this is technological innovation in political campaigns is nothing new. And like any technology, the more people have it, the more you can use it in a political campaign. Now, let's go to the recent development. Point number 2. What is it about social media that's different in past technology? Here's the essential difference. It's two-way communication. It's not just a picture or a voice on the radio talking to your ear, and it's not just someone on TV talking to you while you sit on your couch. Social media gives you the opportunity to respond to what you see, to comment, to join a movement, to contribute to a cause. You get a reaction from people. And basically what this has done is it has empowered the voices of people who use it and made it more difficult for the gatekeepers of news and information to silence. Basically, it's increased your power to advance a cause or start a political campaign, and it has diminished the gatekeeper's power to silence your voice. I'm going to use this as an example of what I'm talking about. When I was a kid, there was a guy named Walter Cronkite. He was the newscaster on CBS News. The nation tuned in to Walter Cronkite every night. Everybody was at their TV set for the 6 o'clock news to listen to Walter Cronkite. They got their news from Walter Cronkite. They trusted Walter Cronkite more than any other politician in the country. He was also the newscaster during the Vietnam War, when Lyndon Johnson was president. The war had become very controversial. And somebody called Johnson one day, right before Walter Cronkite was going to go on the air, and said, Walter Cronkite just got back to Vietnam. He doesn't like what he sees, and he tonight is going to question the wisdom of the United States of America being in Vietnam, and he's going to come pretty close to saying we ought to come home. When Johnson heard that news, he said, "Oh my God, if I've lost Walter Cronkite, I have lost the country." That was 1968. And here's the difference today. There isn't a president, there isn't a presidential candidate that would say that about any newscaster in America today. That is what the internet and social media has wrought. We no longer have just one or two gatekeepers on news and information. We now have many sources. There are different social media outlets, and they all have certain uses, and I'm going to talk about the 5 or 6 that are most important and how they are used. What we call the big 6 or the big 5. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. All of them are prevalent today. All of them are used by untold masses of people, but they all have a little bit different culture and a little bit different way of getting at people. So as you want to use, or if you want to use the internet and social media to advance a cause or creative movement of some kind, they are the ones you use now. So there is an art and a science to posting things on Facebook in a way that it gets noticed. It's chiefly what we call used for static advertising, which is a stark picture with a few words, maybe some words on the screen. It could be a startling picture. That's the chief use of Facebook. Now, the other thing is about Facebook is they're pretty easy about letting people to advertise on Facebook to reach a niche audience they want to reach. And the beauty of Facebook is if you have a list of people that you want to talk to or get a message to, you can give that list to Facebook. They will match it to known Facebook users with that name and that phone number, and they will target your message to a specified group of people that you tell them you want to see the message. Facebook is unique in the social media channel that will allow you to do that. Instagram is mainly a picture website, and it creates a following, but there's a lot that you can do with pictures and words on a screen to attract an audience, to build a movement, and bring life to a cause. TikTok is mainly video, and it reaches people under the age of 30. It has become their principal source of news. LinkedIn started out as a job site. It's become much bigger than that. It's where people who promote certain causes network with each other. It's where stout people live who have have good jobs, looking for new careers. It's where they promote their own career and their own services. Far more than a job bank, but you're going to find on LinkedIn that you have a lot of influential people. YouTube is our video medium now. It has the best search engine of any social media available in the United States today. You can learn practically anything that you want to know by going to YouTube and say, how to fix my kitchen sink. And you'll find a dozen videos on that subject. This is the place where people go to learn. This is a place that you can also advertise your cause and give it life by promoting it in video. We started with the question of how the internet has revolutionized political campaigns. Well, but in truth, it's revolutionized a lot of things. We're never going to be what we once were. Science is going to interfere. Technology is coming at us. We're on the verge of a new AI revolution, and not even the people working on AI can tell us with any clarity exactly what it's going to look like in 5 years, except that we know that it's coming. The point about the social media channels I just mentioned is one of them may be gone in 5 years, never to be heard from again. We may be using 2 or 3 that come of age in the next 5 years that don't even exist today. How do you stay up on top of it? Watch what other people are doing, and if you see something that works, there's no law that says you can't use it. Like any other technology, it can be used for good and evil. It can be used for the wrong cause. It can be used for a good cause. It can be used to spew hate and division. It can be used to lift people up and offer them a hand, those who deserve a hand up. And I'll say this about the way you use it. How you use it is your business. But those who in the past have used technology to evil ends, I just will say this in general, they are in these dustbin of history and long forgotten. Those who have used it for good are those that we fondly remember that helped bring an important cause to life or created a movement that is alive and well today. Ultimately, the only thing that we take to our grave is our reputation, and ultimately our legacy that we create during our short time on this planet is the difference, the positive difference that we've made for other people. I would just ask you to consider that as you decide how you are going to use the social media and the internet revolution. I have an added bonus for you, and it's free, and it's called How to Use Social Media in a Political Campaign. I'd suggest if you've got any notion of getting involved in politics someday, go take a look. It'll be worth your time.